Charles Wallace did sneak up behind me and sucker punch me in the head before my eyes could adjust to the contrast of light. When I tried to push past him, he did grab me by my hair and pull me to the ground. Stephen Hooks did assist Charles Wallace by choking me, at which point I stabbed Charles Wallace as I was trying to get outside to call the law. Stephen Hooks did get cut trying to continue the fight. Upon my immediate exit, I did call the law.
Charles Wallace had no vendetta against Gary until the daughter of Charles's mistress wanted to get rid of Charles. Unfortunately, Charles Wallace took this out on Gary, and what went from a minor family issue became an overly planned, wrongful conviction. Charles had attacked Gary multiple times prior to the store, granting Gary an automatic victim bills of rights after the magistrate court incident when Charles attempted to attack Gary again in front of a judge.
At Hayden Magistrate's Court axe handle incident, Charles Wallace did attempt to assault me again. Charles Wallace did state to Judge Falconberry and Officer Hutchinson of the Chesapeake County Sheriff's Department that he would catch me at a store and kill me. He was detained for several hours, yet no charges were filed by Falconberry or Officer Hutchinson. Falconberry denied me a restraining order, at which point I received notice of being a victim by the South Carolina Victims Advocacy. At the time of the McCormick incident, I was the victim of the victim, Charles Wallace, per the South Carolina Victims Advocate. Charles Wallace should have been arrested for being within 500 feet of myself.
The state and his lawyers did not use exculpatory evidence that proves his innocence without a doubt. A Brady violation happens when exculpatory evidence proving someone is innocent is omitted, not used, in court, or tampered and altered evidence is used instead. The 911 audio by Melissa Griffin, the medical records and incident reports were not used at trial, and a fourth lost altered video was played at trial. These are all Brady violations. Johnson Lee goes on to state that Larry Knox had received 4 videos.
There you go, see, there was a look past the old man, smacked him.
But Larry Knox testifies he only received 3 videos. Greg Burns admits to there being 4 videos, but that only 1 was played, the 4th video. They did not use the 911 audio by Melissa Griffin that proves her perjury. Melissa Griffin was allegedly in cahoots with Stephen Hooks. In the 911 audio by Melissa Griffin, you can hear her and Stephen Hooks chatting in the background. Stephen Hooks was allegedly high and didn't want anything to do with the police. The last Brady violation is the medical records that were not used at trial, showing that Gary had head trauma and PTSD, as well as a concussion.
The Honorable Paul Burks did allow my legal trial to proceed despite not requiring or receiving the findings of facts from the immunity court to warrant said trial. To this day, the courts refuse to acknowledge no findings of facts never being made to warrant my conviction, despite there being absolutely no findings of facts in or on record at PCR.
To be charged with attempted murder, the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the person had specific intent to kill aforethought. The judge at trial twice charged a jury that malice does not necessarily mean an actual intent to kill, which is an erroneous and confusing statement, as specific intent and malice are required for attempted murder. This caused the jury to come back and ask what the difference was between premeditation and intent, possibly causing them to think intent or not didn't make a difference for an attempted murder charge.